morning, everybody. It is so nice to see on a Saturday weekend, and many people are joining. This is always very close to me. So last month when we were trying to talk about our digital media team, and they says, okay, this month you have only one, and I said, no, no, we should always keep at least two because that is so close to my heart, which I always says that how to make people be aware. First has to be in awareness and then go. The reason behind that is close to my heart because I always felt it. Sometimes people are aware but doesn't know how to implement, or so many times when I'm meeting a lot of people, and that's what I do is try to share my experience with the people that let us reinvent the wheel is very, very tough. So learn from others. So we should not reinvent the wheel most of the time. And that's what this seminar and webinar is all about. So let me start today because this is becoming one of the core part as a top priority on a retirement. And why not? Because most of us, our longevity is going very high, and we all are not as privileged as our parents, where they used to have the pension coming. And that's what I used to tease my dad long back, that saying that, yes, your salary was so low, but you have keep getting. He was an ex-army person, so your pension keeps increasing so much, and you have so much. So that's today's thought, that how we can also have an alternative income or money works for us. So first is we should know what we have it. Okay. So how much we need it, and can we able to get it across? There is nothing I can say it's a hard and fast rule. Everyone is different. Their lifestyles are different. Like if somebody was explaining me yesterday, what will happen if somebody gets 100 crore, and I was teasing anyway, they have to eat dal chawal only. I don't know how much they will spend money. So of course, there's a different way of how people have been spending money. I'm not saying the people who spend 10 lakhs a month is something is wrong, but on an average, 1.5 to 2 lakhs is the normal people have been asking, because by the time you'll be debt free and other things. So I'll take few, I can say calculation. I'm happy if we have a live person to tell me. Otherwise, I will do it and try to see how I can do. So let's go about it and keep having a open session. Always love to have many questions around. So I'll let me know if you're able to do. So this is the one of my favorite. I always tell in my webinar, I have not gone through much any other people's webinar, but I always says I try to do webinar is only what I have done it and what I learned from the customers. So I give the examples so that you will be able to relate and do it. So this question keeps coming. What do you mean by retirement? Is it olden days at 60 or say 55? I wanted to sit and take rest. Those days are gone, and the difference is coming is it I wanted to do 9 to 5 job, or I wanted to do what I love to do? So this is Anil's thing. If you ask him now, or when he started Right Horizon, he will say that I am in retirement mode. So I know him very well because good, bad, ugly, he's my husband. So he's my boss also, and he's my husband also. And he's a CEO and founder of Right Horizons. So when we were a classmates, and I still remember when we were just a degree 91 batch, we were talking, and he used to always says, I don't think so I can work from somebody. But being both of us are from the parents middle class, we don't have so much, and that time there was not having like a startup funding kind of it. So you have to earn, you have to manage your corpus and then do it. And that's what he did it. He told that I wanted to retire at age of 35, but I think so his planning with both of us working, thanks to I think so IT industry, he was able to make a corpus which was very clear that even if I don't do good in this new venture, my 5 years, my all the amount or the whatever is required for the household income record is being taken care. And he started this company 5 years before what he planned for. And that's where I want all of you to start thinking what is the purpose you want it to be. So it's like a recently I met another auntie who is around 76 years old, and she says that I don't know how long I'll live, but what I should do. And she said, I have around 40 crores. And I said, auntie, you have to realize that are you looking this money to go to the next generation? You wanted to give it to the charity, or you wanted to make sure that okay, I will be able to do something for trust or do that part of it and give it to the other person or grandkids. So we have to be very clear. Everybody knows that we need for our goals, and after our goals, what we need to do it. And that's where I starting with retirement is not a age number. It is what you love to do when you don't have a stress on the financials. So what is a plan for a retirement? This when I go a lot of I can say corporates to give the financial planning, retirement planning, kids education planning kind of it, lot of things. And when I ask for retirement, and this is no, it is very far off. Why I should think now? I will think for a vacation, or I will think now that's another new trend is coming so quietly that okay, of course, there's no doubt experience is the investments, but on what level you have to do the experience, because you can't borrow. And that's another trend is that people borrowing and doing an experience, and then you're realizing, oh, it's a too much of debt. So I wanted to share one more experience with me is I was talking to another person. I do a lot of sort of mentoring. Anyway, I failed in mentoring to the women because I tried to take that thing last year, and I asked first fundamental question is, can you write the everyday expense, okay, for a month? And you will surprised to know that they were not able to write. So first point is to, it is a, you can say health wellness, or you can say it's a financial wellness. It is a discipline brings it across. And you have to know where you are spending, and then only you can say, okay, where I'll invest or save. First, so that's another concept is about. So I am talking still about a retirement. So this person told me, I have a lot of stress, Rachna. I want you to solve give the solution that make me sometimes very not sure how I can give a solution when people are not able to take care of what we say. So I always says one is coachable or not coachable. So I said, what is the reason you have so much stress? You are earning so good. And that is what I perceive. When you see in the social media, people perceive that, oh, you are super duper good, a very good comfort and have. And that's another norms. I always realize it that what you see is not true. So I don't believe what people write it in social media most of the time also. Because whenever I met personally, whoever I know through social media quite well is a totally different story when I do the coaching. So his point is, I have three houses, and three houses are on the very high EMI, and I have lost the job. What to do? And I asked him some fundamentally why you took three houses. And his point is, I thought my parents says if I have a three house and I will pay the EMI, when I retire, the rental will become my retirement fund. Is it true? Even olden days, it is true. There's no doubt. That's the way olden days people used to do it. They will have a rentals or they will have an FDs. But is it true now? Because sometimes we have taken only one concept from the previous generation. We didn't take the overall level. So you will surprised to know that previously they used to never take so much of loans. If they have a money, they will buy and then the rental will come. But now this guy has taken 2 crore plus loan, lost his job, and don't know how to do pay the EMI, and it's not so easy to sell the house so easy. So be clear what you want and how you want to derive the retirement. But I'm not saying, of course, like I, of course, as a personal, as a wealth manager or as a Rachna Rego, I will not prefer a rental income because it is called low yield. Yield means, yeah, if I have a 1 crore of, I can say the house of, I may be getting 30,000 rupees as my rent. After that, I may not be able to get 3 to 4% of yield, means that is what it is. You may get an appreciation maybe when you're selling, but your yield is very, very low. On an average, as they call the retail renting, the average is around 3 to 4%. Okay. So you don't want it to get stuck your money. So second concept I'm trying to tell here is when you're retiring fund you are creating, one is not to have a fixed fund. So his 80% of his net worth was in fixed. And I said, can you sell anything? He said, I don't know, I can sell it. And that is the another concept I wanted to drive it here. It is okay to have a rental income, but it is not okay to have your fixed assets in your total portfolio more than 50%. These are the few facts which is driven by the, I think so, Aviva and one more company. So 7 out of 10 Indian expect their children to support their retirement. That is, previously it was there, but now it is slowly, it has to go down because the dependency is going very high. And I always believe, as me, we were staying far from our parents. Of course, our daughter is also in abroad. So when they are staying their lives, you can't expect them to take care of us. So we have to be self-sufficient, whatever money is required for our retirement. 18% Indian investors think the retirement is a priority investment goal. So, which is another thing which last maybe 3 or 4 years back, when the rule came that PF can be 1800 as a minimum, or you can choose not to have PF. Actually, I was very, very unhappy with that rule, because at least with the PF, we were able to pay 12% of our basic. And that will give us at least some corpus for our retirement. Now, because people wanted to have the good in hand, they are opting it out from PF or taking 1800, which is not going to create a good corpus also. And you can think here itself, only 18% are taking as a priority. So lot of things are required. So this is my favorite analogy I always tell people. I do every day with my calendar and the things. When we are moving from one place to another, most of us will be putting across very clearly a Google Map, how long it will take. There's a difference is that when I start, Google Map says 1 hour, and by the time I reach, it will be 1.5 hours, because on the way there are so much jam and the traffic has been come. Okay. Same thing happens for our day-to-day life. Why we are not doing, which is a long-term our goals. So if I wanted to achieve, let us say, retirement as a goal, you have to put as a destination by 15 years, or when I'm 55, I want to retire. And I want an equal amount, or with the lifestyle of as of today, whatever I'm doing, around 1 lakh or 2 lakhs I want per month, how much I should be having a corpus that will take care of my till 85 or 95 my cash flow, and how I will be able to manage and save that much. So if you go to the Google, you can easily see that in between it says it is the road is blocked. I'm rerouting it. The same thing happen in a life. You can start investment with a low, and when the money comes, instead of 10 years, you may take 12 years or 14 years to reach the target, but you have to make sure the target is being fixed first. So I'm just going to put a small video. Please let me know if you're able to hear.
We plan and save for all our goals, but what about retirement? 92.6% of working population in India is not covered under any formal pension system. Earning age is reduced due to increasing focus on higher education and desire to retire early. Life expectancy is increasing, and so as medical expenses. This makes the retirement planning the most crucial financial goal. Combination of SIP and SWP of mutual funds can help you to create your own retirement plan. Let's see how. If you start investing rupees 5,000 monthly at the age of 25 through an SIP in equity mutual fund, your retirement corpus would be rupees 1.54 crores. You can switch it to debt mutual fund and start an SWP. With expected return of 6% CAGR, your monthly withdrawal through SWP would be rupees 77,024. When you want to stop receiving it, you can also withdraw the entire corpus. Key to create your own pension-like monthly cash flow is to start early. If you delay your investment by even 1 year, your retirement corpus would be 1.36 crore, and monthly withdrawal amount through SWP will reduce to rupees 68,486 monthly. To receive fixed monthly cash flow after retirement, start planning for your retirement with the help of SIP and SWP now. Mutual fund.
So as it says, power of compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. So as and soon you start investing, your corpus also keep going big. So in the financial planning, I'm just taking as a superset. Of course, I will focus on retirement. Retirement is one of the, I can say, financial planning. In financial planning, there are three major pillars we call risk management, contingency, and goal based. Risk management is, I think, so all of us have heard, seen, and looked around. It's more on a health when we were having a COVID. A lot of time we realized that our corporate insurance, what we were having for family, was not enough. 10 lakhs is also was less sometime. I still say people you should have a alternative to the corporate and take a top ups. Top ups are very, very cheap. Please do it. Last few days, there are a lot many things has changing in health insurance. They are allowing even the old people above 60, above 70, even the premiums may be high. Try to take those for the parents. And the term cover. Term cover, there are many stories, but I can tell you without fail, if you have a debt, I mean the loans, make sure that loans amount equal, you have 100% that term cover, okay? Because it's very, very tough for me when people comes and I feel very, very helpless to help them because they don't have an assets, they don't have, and they have lot of EMI and the person has lost. So they're already going through the emotional so much thing because they lost their near and dear ones. And top of it, they're finding the financial crisis also. So it's very tough for us, not only us, for any human to see people are doing when they are so well to do maybe a month back. So it's better to have that much more to take the debt. I know it's there are everybody have a different combination and permutation of how much term cover you should have. But minimum, I can tell you, it should be taken care of. Normally, it's normal all the goals, and plus you should take care of the debt. That is the way. There are different ways in the term cover. It's an income based, expense based, or the goal based. I normally go with the goal based. So if I'm not there, my all the financial goals, how much money is required as of today, I should have in the term cover, or plus whatever I have the debts. That's the way I do it. So please do that part of it. Contingency is the second pillar, very important part of it, is talking about that in case of business loss or you have the, you can think of any emergencies coming. So it's like a loss of a job also nowadays. Sometimes people are coming. So they are saying that 6 months of your expenses, you should always keep it in liquid funds or an FDs. Goal based is what I was trying to talk about. It talks about retirement, home, kids' education, vacation, house, car. Nowadays, gadgets are also coming because it's quite big. So that is the goal-based investing one by one. The trends are changing. So now trend says that retirement is a top level because as of today, reverse mortgage is not so easy in India. So and we don't have many good, I can say, given by the government pension plans. We have another thought is going on, which is very important. Yesterday, I was going through some other research has come that so many Indians wants their kids to go abroad and study, which is also very tough. So I keep teasing my daughter sometimes that, okay, you have studied, now you have started working, you are off my payroll. So I don't have to worry about it and you have to take care because nowadays master's graduation abroad is around 2 crores. And if they are going for master is also 1.5 crore. Then it talks about nowadays vacation is becoming the third where a lot of people wanted to go experiencing different countries and it is like they want a longer duration in Europe, Australia and US, which is 50 to 20 days plus which costs around 25 lakhs, which is another things which is coming up very, very high. So smart investing strategy, I always tell these are the 5 things which made me make sure that people are able to do. One is budgeting. Please make sure that you budget and don't overboard. So this is the first and foremost for anything. I have, whenever I go and meet and speak with any customers, I have realized it so many times. Somebody yesterday also told me, Rachna, my CIBIL reports has gone bad. Why? I was having so many credit cards and there was so much of interest. So I didn't pay, I exit. I have enough. I can tell you the stories. on budgeting. I keep saying there's nothing wrong in credit cards as long as you pay. So you're getting a credit of 1 month, but please pay the same month. Okay. So otherwise have a debit card itself. Make sure that whatever is your in hand money you are getting, you are able to save at least 25%. Last 30 years, this is my 30th year of experience, or I can say number of years I've been working. I have not missed one single month where I have not at least invested minimum 25. I must have invested much more, but minimum I must have done it 25% of. Investment should link to goal. So I'm going to have a meeting after this presentation itself. One person is going to come and I ask, you want this investment for what? So she says, no, I just want an investment for the getting the good returns. But so I said, okay, you get 100% return. What you will do? She said, I don't know. So I said, okay, I'll come and meet you and understand. Because when you invest for anything, let us say you have investing for your kids or for your retirement, you will not remove the money from there, because if you know, if I'm removing the money, it may impact my kids education or my retirement. But if it is just linked as an appreciation for smallest thing, even for a vacation or even for a just buying a one laptop, you will may remove it. So long term compounding doesn't come when you remove. So there is another, we have a walking group. We work, I don't know how many, 15, 20 years we have been working together and have a every day one new chapters, something we start with. And I was trying to tell, the research says that the people who keep talking that, okay, I know market very well, I know in and out, this is happening, Rachna, sell, buy this. And I said, no, I'm not the right person. You can go, there are 1,000 people on those who will call you daily basis to buy and sell, and those people are the place where the portfolio is least, or their portfolio is giving the very bad return or negative. The people who go simpler concept and long term, their portfolio is amazing. And that's what we should link with the goal and do it. I have not seen my portfolio till last year, till our daughter was going abroad for the higher studies, because that was my first goal. And I continued my SIP when my market is up or down. So you are not going to change the market. So you can change your funds if you are having an issue. Otherwise, continue your SIP. Simple as that. So that's where it went very well. Have always a less debt. Debt, I mean here loans. Never go bold more than 40%, even though bank may give it more than for 50% sometimes. So if your salary is in hand for 1 lakh, let us say, don't go above 40K. Okay. So that above 40K, whenever you have gone, I have not met, I can say many, but on an average, I meet at least 2 to 3 new person a day. Most of the time I have seen, whenever somebody's debt is gone high, they are not able to sleep properly, which impact their psychologically, mentally, and their financially also. So have a simpler life. I always says have a good happy life, not to have so much debt. You don't have to show because my neighbor is having a good car, so I should have a good car. You can still have a car where it's taking you away, or you take the Ola or Uber. So it doesn't need to have, but if you have that passion, you will save it and buy it. Think long, very, very important. When I ask now new generation what is long term, they're saying it's a 1 year, because short is 3 months, 3 days, 5 days. So there's a difference in opinion. Sometimes I feel, I always think I'm quite old, but when I speak with them, there is much more. I feel that I'm older, because long term for me is 7 years and plus. Manage risk, very very important. This person I never able to forget, because he called us. We have our own PMS, is doing very good. Yesterday we realized we were in top 10, top 3 of our strategies in our top 10 across India. So somebody, not now, but somebody previously called us, saying that I wanted your PMS, because your PMS is giving 30% returns, can you make sure we get it? And I said no, these are the last 3 years return. Doesn't need that next 3 years also I'll get 30, because on an average, I know 10 years we should think about at least 12 to 14%, maximum 18%, even if I'm getting 3% above the benchmark. And he says, no, that's not what I'm looking. I'm looking 30%. Then I said, I may not be the right person. You can go. There are many people who will tell you to 30%. I have no idea. So that's another concept for me. I feel when I'm not able to align with somebody's risk, I personally don't like to have it, because I know after 2 years we will be spending our BP issues because of expectation setting issue. Then he says, you know who am I? I'm XYZ. I'm a CXO. I have this. I said, yeah, sir, you may be best of even Modi ji also. But if he says me, if you want to do 30%, I may not give it to him. So that is the one thing I have realized. People look very short term. You have to start looking. When we were all time high, the Sensex and Nifty itself is 13.8. How you're not realizing 13.8 for 30 years itself. What is the compounding level it is? So try to understand how you mean by risk. Yesterday, I got it the again research paper, which maybe the next webinar I'll do it. The person, if you want to do it, please do the Google search. That guy, 18 years old, now he got caught 22. He has used 2200 crore of people's money and he is scammed. Now he is in jail, but of course everybody's 2200 crore is gone to zero, because he told very clearly that I will give 30% returns. So try to understand, sometimes the concept never goes wrong. And if somebody is giving you so much, try, you have Google, you have ChatGPT, you have all the friends, families, everybody, please try to understand risk is in a long run, low risk is 6 to 8%, high risk can be 12 to 15%, and moderate is in a weighted average manner. That's the way you should look at, look for 10 years perspective. These are the things you will get it across. These are the retirement facts and figures from JP Morgan and Sun Life Research. So this is what I'm trying to do it, which you are, when you're preparing yourself or you have somebody who is already there, to make sure what are the things when we are preparing for a retirement we should do. One is value and the life lessons. We have to make sure what we want our next generation. So whenever I go for funeral, I always see, if I am lying down and people are coming on my funeral, what they will be speaking about, what value I have given to me and my family that they remembered, because our life may be not there tomorrow, but we live. So what you are giving an asset as an life to the others who remember you after your death. Instructions and the wishes, they said second things which we always like to do. Financial assets and real estate. And four is personal precision of emotional level. These are the four things people normally try to give as a pillar to the legacy to the next level. What does mean that you are in order for a retirement? Having an affair in order means your will and trust should be there. This is the very recent meeting of mine. Again, that auntie told me that I have a X number of it. My both the kids are abroad, Rachna. How I'll do it? And I said I have lost my both the parents very recently within a 1 year, and I can tell you that making a life liquidity is better to send, write it in a will and do, because they may not be able to come, sell the real estate and then do it. That's another trend is going on. I have seen most of the parents where the kids are abroad, they are making a life simpler with a multiple real estate to liquidate and make it a financial asset. So will and trust makes lot more easier to make sure to do that. Document that express the wishes to end life care. So that's another things. This is more of course, global level I'm trying to say. But yes, I have few customer where they write a will and I am either a witness or the executor. So sometime I have two people who don't have kids. So they have told me, if I am in hospital and I am not able to, which is not there in India, it's called living will, that till when you should be allowing my ventilator if I'm in ventilator right now, or how much hospital I should be in. So those are the documents which is actually in India also people have started coming and telling us enough money to save to take care. Of course, that is not in India much required much on those to take care of life and legacy is the four things which is done. Please make sure your health covers are very important and you have an executor. This is my personal learning. My mom was always says, no, I'm not dying. I will not write a will. And then it is still after 1.5 years, we are struggling. Some names are different. The spelling is different. They want a succession. They want a family. My brother is in US. He cannot come and sign. It's many things are going across. So it's makes easier life simpler. I know they all loves our family members, so they don't want even after death they go through the time and duration issue. There are two most trusted sourcing people when people do. One is family and friend, no doubt about it, and financial profession. I can tell you because I'm in that league, and most of the customers will either I am a witness or an executor. So most of the time they say, "Listen, I'm not spoken neither with my kids or that, but I have told them something happens, you just go them and they will be able to take care." Yes, these are the two people who normally people trust quite the most. So this is the rule keeps coming, and I wanted to spend more time. Lot of in of course US is a 4% and India we say 6%. Somebody says me, Rachna, when you are doing an SWP, why you want it a 6% when you are getting a 9% returns? But when you see across 6% rule is good. Easiest way is if I have 1 crore, 6% it's coming around 6 lakhs divided by you can say 12 and 50,000 you will get it across. Make it across that way because whenever we are doing 6%, people sometimes are not taking care of inflation, they are not taking care of a taxation. All are talking about pre-tax, but still you need to pay tax. So whatever buffer you are getting for the additional money can take care of this. So please make sure how long do you want to plan for. That is a very debatable, but genetically people always says take your mother's side, whoever natural death has stayed the longest, like your nanny, maternal grandmother, grand aunties, or anybody, stay till 90 and a natural death, the natural death age continues. So I have only two customers who told me to make a cash flow till 100 because they says my auntie and my parents stayed till 94 and 95. So very rarely, but yes, if you take till 100, the compounding effect goes very, very high. But yes, on an average, we take 85 to 90, but you should know how long you should plan for. When your retirement planning we do, I always says we should be ready till today. If I'm not available, that's the way when I pray, I always says every day morning, it's a God grace. But we don't know if I'm not there. But if I'm there till 85 or 90, I should be not going and depending on my kids. I should be having a money for myself sufficient. How you will invest in portfolio, that's another question I will be taking across. First, we are building the portfolio. That time till you're working, we take it in equity. And when you start, we call a payout or a regular payment. We move it to we call a hybrid fund, which is 70/30. As we grow older and older, we go to the 50/50. I'm talking about debt and equity ratios. And as we go above 75, we make it as like as 30% equity and 70% debt. Asset allocation, very important part, very, very important. How confident you are earning till last and how the conditions keeps changing. So these questions you should ask before you start thinking of retirement. First, what is my family budget? Do I have a family budget or not? When I sit with a husband, wife, and they both will be fighting in front of me, and I don't know whom to actually say because I keep asking who is taking care of it. Please write the budget for 1 or 2 months and then come back to me. That's another thing sometimes I say because whenever we are looking family budget, I can tell you they will see the family and then they are not realizing the birthday, the anniversary, the travel, 1 or 2 things is not going right. Sometimes you are buying some gadgets. That is one of the expense in a year, but you have to take care in a full overall year basis. So that family budget, you have to make sure that how to take care of health insurance premiums are coming. You have to give gifts sometimes. What you are taking care of kids' education, wedding, so if you have a loans, how you wanted to repay, or it should be part of your budgeting, and then you take care. Risk on capital because most of the time we try to say not to have the capital erosion. But if somebody says, yeah, Rachna, I don't have my anybody, instead of giving to somebody who doesn't need, let me erode my thing. That's also okay. So you take it much more and you can erode over the period. Or we try to tell them that, okay, you can make a trust or you give it in a will that one of the NGOs who will money will go and they will take care of it. Do you have adequate corpus to meet a family budget? That's very important. I can say you ballpark is the 6% rule, but you can still have it. When I make these funds, people don't add it to real estates and other things. But when you are making it, because if you don't have money, you can sell that and put it across in this. What do I inheritance plan for? So that's another things you have to manage the inheritance because we have to take care of a legal part also in that too when we are doing the retirement. Tips for retirement, emergency funds, you should always have 3 to 6 months. in FDs or living. Healthcare should be the topmost. Life cover to earlier for if you take it, it is lower premium. Maximize your provident fund, NPS, whichever is giving you the tax benefit also. Always repay your high ticket loans. Make sure when you are retired, you are debt free kind of it. And rationalize, you should be having a tax efficiency and make sure that you have a simpler. So I was just talking today morning, I was speaking to another person as a prospect, very 30-40 crore that guy, and he says, I have never seen nowadays people talking more performance. This says, Rachna, I want life to be simpler. I want to make sure that when I'm not there, all kids have given the money properly. You have to make sure that all the documents and taxations are taken care of. So those are the, as the people grow older and things, first I'm still talking about making a purpose, but when we are doing that, we always says that how to make a life simpler. Set a retirement goal, figure it how to make the retirement, and the roadmap is very, very important part of it. So this why we need a retirement, because most of us we are talking about lifestyle. I can tell you our lifestyle index is much more higher than inflation index. None of us, let me tell my own, because whenever I take a mobile, most of the time I'll say, okay, I need only basic mobile. And suddenly when I saw this time, the mobile only is coming around 1.5 to 2 lakhs. So most of the time we have never thought we will pay so much on the mobile or a branded things. So things are going a lot of different. So inflation is not only one thing, your lifestyle index is also going. So we have to take care of that part. How to express may change your approach and transition. So you have a basic living that we have to make sure that this is one thing without fail I need. You can decrease or you can increase part of the how your taxes are and increase your lifestyle. That's the one thing you should make sure that basic thing I required, which is without fail. I don't want anyone to interrupt that. And then you can add and delete part of it. So I'll just show you the calculator. Please let me know if you are able to see my calculator. You're able to see my calculator?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here I'm going to tell, because this is not rocket science or anything. So I'm just trying to say if somebody's current expense is currently we call household income or expense is 1 lakh. So most of us never change the lifestyle, let me tell you. So we will get the equivalent 1 lakh. So I am saying that we are taking 6% as the inflation, which is an average we are taking. We are saying that current age is 35. I can change anything if you want. You can let us say 40, and I wanted to retire at age of 55. So I need around 2.39 lakhs when I am 55. So 1 lakh is equivalent, or it's called inflation link, is at 2.39. So this is a formula, simple formula. It's called future value FV. My rate, I have taken inflation 6%. So my current age minus my retirement age is 15. Today's is 1 lakh. So it is becoming 2.3 lakhs. So when I am retiring, I am that time I am not going to expect a very high returns, because I am planning to take care of 8% and a moderate risk. So when I'm doing this, when I'm retiring, I require around, let us say 6.6 or 7 crore rupees. If I have a 7 crore, I will be able to get 2.4 lakhs rupees starting till my age of 85, which is inflation linked. So I'm just giving you this formula again to explain how that is come. It is called a present value, PV, at 1.88 divided by 12. Why I have taken 1.88? The reason I have taken 1.88, it is called RRR, real rate of returns. So indirectly, you can think of what I'm here speaking about. My 6% is inflation and 8% is an expectation after my retirement. So you can think in normal math is I'm getting 8 and giving 6, which is around 2%. That's why 2% your portfolio is going to increase. So otherwise, there is a formula. That's why it has come 1.88. So that is the rate divided by 12, because it is monthly expense. You want 2.4 lakhs. I have taken here longevity till 85. You can take any number if you want, depending on your maternal family side, but average we say is 85. So 85 minus 55 into 12 months, that's what we have to give the things. What is a per month I require? 2.39. And that's how I got it around 6.6 crore odd. So in case if I have money as on today, 1.57. So let me say if I can make it 12, I have a 1.2 crores now. So I will be able to make 6.6 crore over 15 years. So this is again, I'm doing a present value discounting. If this amount I grow at 12%, how much I should be having as of today value, because this is the future value. If I don't have any money, I can do yearly, which is 17 lakhs. And if I do SIP of 1.47 lakhs, I will be able to retire peacefully without an issue. In this, it's a simple mathematics, but of course, when we do a retirement planning, we will see your PF, PPF, NPS, real estate, all the funds, and then do it. But this is what, in a simpler math, how much is corpus required? That's where it is going to talk about. So here easily, if you see SIP calculator, which you can try to see, if I start with, let us say 30K for 20 years or 15 years, that's what I have taken now. So I will be able to get a 1.8 crore, which is talking about 3.3 times. So if you do earlier, you can just start seeing it became 5.4 times. And if it is 25, it became 9 times. So your power of compounding, you can think of how much it goes when you stay more longer. Okay. So this, I will just go back to my presentation mode. You're able to see my presentation now?
Yes.
So what are the risks we have to look at when we are looking in a retirement? One is inflation, as I told you. Inflation is one thing. A lot of people say, Rachna, I need only 1 lakh. Why you need that? But 1 lakh will actually, when I make it till 85 cash flow, you will realize 1 lakh equivalent of today's month will become 7 lakhs or 8 lakhs when you are 85. Okay, that is another things. But there is everywhere there is a solution. We call a step up approach. We will say pre-tax, post-tax approach. We will say that sometimes, most of the time after 70, 75, your things are reduced, your travel is reduced. So you have a different method for doing a cash flows. But yes, inflation is there. So sometimes people says, no, I wanted inflation not 6%, let us say 7, or somebody says take it higher inflation also. That is the reason we have to make sure that you are able to take care of long term good returns when you are looking at inflation linked normally. Most of the, when I say insurance is good for a regular payout till last month, because this month everybody has changed. It was 6.5% XIRR tax free was very, very good. So you have to make sure that, okay, this much money I will get from my regular pension or the insurance plan, but inflation link should be taken care by your corpus. There is a market risk. Of course, you will get it a good returns. Most of the people, sometimes they don't know even PF is being subsidized. We are getting a 8.25 when the normal debt is giving you 6.5. So what government has done internally, as of today, 15% goes to the market. And it may go slowly like a how US is for not one. You can choose your own fund manager and grow. But yes, as of today, PF, they are managing little bit because of the market. So market risk is there. So you should take a market as when you are working, you can take little higher. Then as you start payout goes, you start going to hybrid where 70% is equity, then 50% and 30%. Health risk is very, very important. And that's where I always say is that the one thing which nobody can buy is your health. And that's a very good news for all of us, including me. I was just reciting last, I was reading a book which says that how I think so, habits are changed to yourself and their society, and then overall cultural change to the overall bigger picture, like a country level. Is that's what I was thinking. One thing has changed quite a lot in India is last 10 years, you can think a lot of people are going a more health conscious level. It can be walking, exercising, or healthy food kind of it, which was not so much thing was there. Because of that, longevity is also going high. I was teaching economics to my son, and suddenly he was talking about mortality charges and mortality. So I was telling previously people used to say that 60, 65 was actually an Indian mortality. It is increased, but upper middle class, and because we have a good access to the health system, so longevity is becoming 80, 85 plus. These are the things which is in your hand, your control, and some are not in control. So sometimes don't try to control which is not in your control, so your anxiety and your BP goes high. So longevity and employment, earning and duration is somewhere it is in your control because of your health and your things. Saving and asset allocation is totally in your control. Market policy, taxation, this is the another person told me, Rachna, I'm giving so much of tax, why we should pay tax. It's not in my hand, neither anybody can change. So I said, yeah, a lot of people do different things. Like they says, okay, I should shift to different country. I said, it's not the always a reason. Maybe they are young, they are able to do, but something which is not in our control, try to have not to spend time, money, energy, and your BP or anxiety because what is not in control. So you have to make sure what is in your control, what is not in control, and what is partially in your control. Structure your always investment goals is one is stable spending, variable spending, and how you make sure you will be doing a legacy to the next level. Good thing in nowadays I have noticed, and which is very happy feeling kind of it. Very rarely I have seen, but a lot of people started making a structural what you call portfolio only for charity. I have started seeing a lot of people are coming back and they're making structural for will for their helpers, which is again a very good feeling about it. And I love it the way, and of course, legacy sometimes because they wanted to have a good charity to the good organization wherever they have been working. So these are the good things which has started coming in a will, which I have not noticed maybe 5 years back. How the retirement profiles and planning outcomes come. So depending on that, how you are retirement, which you wanted to increase, exceed spending versus this is another thing. You wanted to be increase your wealth or spending, and investment is the one thing which take care of total part of it. Okay. So sometimes you're like recently somebody told my investment is only I can earn 3 lakhs Rachna per month, but I wanted to have a 3.5, 4. So that person will have an issue because your principal start eroding. Sometimes people are going back to 6%, it preserves always. But I know somebody who has such a big portfolio and she takes only 25. And that was another learning for me when I asked how much you need per month. And she thought so much. And she said, if I do luxury, then I can spend 25,000. And I said, Auntie, for that, you don't need anything. You can just put it in SB account and only you will get it. So then we have to start sitting with her that this money, what you want to do future, because it's no point in putting in SB account when you're old and you don't need. So then you're increasing the wealth also. So that depends on how much is a corpus you have, how much you need, and what you wanted to do. 5 common mistake while investing. That's another things I always say is unrealistic return expectations. Last 2 3 years, because there are so many stocks has gone, which is not growth. They said not momentum, and it's been doing so good. People just talk 30 40% as though they are talking 5 or 6% return. And I was telling, no, I don't want you to be in my customer list. And then they get very egoistic issue that how you are not taking. And I said, not that, but I'm saying I cannot give it, so please give it across. So if we always expect we will do better than market benchmarks, but that should not be your return expectations. Set your goals. Most of the people don't do the setting of the goals. They just wanted to invest and then it goes. Next is asset allocation. Asset allocation, debt, equity, hybrid, gold, all those things is a part of it. Try to do it. Not to have when we are looking. Most of the time, somebody asked me, told that Rashna, all of us are looking performance. Nobody is looking liquidity. And that's a very fair game. And most of the time when I go very argumentative with my customer is, I said, no, you already have fixed asset. I will not give it. Maybe after 2 weeks, they'll come and thank me. But that time it doesn't go good because most of us in our mind, we always think the real estate and the fixed assets are good. Ignoring the tax and inflation. most of the time I always says, if you are good and you are able to have that things, time, money and effort, you can of course save money, because indirectly this industry is very common. The fees is always 1% on AUM, but you have to realize it. The difference between you managing your money versus us is there is no emotional attached. And most of the time we go wrong in our own personal portfolio because we have an emotion. With this, I am just surrendering. I have already told overall in my talk how to take care of guaranteed income, tax efficiency, liquidity, vesting age, and accumulation.